The pressure is not going anywhere. It's not going to get any easier. You just learn how to better deal with it.
I wonder if we could talk about the last piece, and this is something that just kind of came up in our mastermind, where the flip side of this, and because I don't want to paint it all as rainbows and butterflies, as you build this sort of time-rich CEO life, you've gone through these 3 phases, and now you have a business that's structured well, you have systems and processes, you have good people to manage that, and all of a sudden you get your time back. Like there's a lot of benefits. I always say being an entrepreneur makes 90% of your life like exponentially better, because there's no traffic, there's no alarm clocks, there's no bosses, there's no meetings, there's nobody telling you what to do. But the 10% of it that it makes harder, it makes exponentially harder. And I think one of the challenges is just the feeling, and I don't know if you deal with this, but most of my people do, the feeling and the weight of responsibility, because now you have people who depend on you for a paycheck, and their families depend on them on a paycheck. And often there's things you have to do, and you always have to keep up, certain client load and things like that. And, usually at that point you start having overhead. So you can't take your foot off the gas on the overall business and things like that. And so the flip side is you may feel a lot of internal pressure to keep that up. I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about the internal battles you face when you start having shit in order, but now you have higher level kind of challenges.
That's a great question that is not spoken about as much. It's a great question. So, of course, imposter syndrome exists at every single level, whether at 6, 7, 8, or 10 figures. Imposter syndrome is always going to be there, right? Another thing is, having mouths to feed. You have payroll to take care of. You have people that depend on you, right? So you have other families to take care of. It's a lot of pressure. Also, if you're the first entrepreneur in your family or the first person who's successfully, created a business and is sustaining, there's a lot of pressure to keep that going and to be the person who creates generational wealth or, provides that extra strategies to do what you want with the business. There's a lot that comes with it. But the caveat of that is that when you follow those 3 phases, it's creating what we call your famine-proof blueprint, so that going forward, when that imposter syndrome creeps in your mind, look at your success book, look at your famine-proof blueprint. You know exactly what you need to do to keep the ball going. The pressure is not going anywhere. It's not going to get any easier. You just learn how to better deal with it and how to, keep, how to hire better and lead better, of course, and be a better CEO. So I think in doing things in the way that we've been speaking about and creating your famine-proof blueprint and falling back on that, that alleviates that fear of the feast or famine cycle. That alleviates that fear of, dang, I don't know if I'll be able to pay my payroll, pay my team, and pay myself. Like, you have the blueprint, follow it, hold yourself accountable, hold your team accountable, and you have the red flags to look for, so that if anything is not meeting, if you're not meeting your baseline revenue, if you're not meeting your profit margins, if your team is, working too much, you're working too much, you know exactly what you have to look at to see what you need to troubleshoot to not make that mistake again next week or next month.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny too when you say all that, because it's like I've had people ask me like, how did you get over that? And I'm like, over it. It's just like you just like you said, you just get better at dealing with it. Like there was a time I wrote a post the other day about, somebody asked me about like, hey, I forget what they said, but I have the urge to self-sabotage. Like, how did you get over that? I'm like, I still have those urges like 16 years later. It just, they after 30 seconds, like I don't listen to those kind of thoughts and go on to them. I just like, instead of having it derail me for a week, it derails me for a minute. And that's the difference, is like you said, you just get better at handling it. And I think, as you see it, like, your responsibilities get better, but at the same time, like, like you said, you can connect to the fact that it's simultaneously a blessing. Like I look at it now, I'm like, if I could tell myself 16 years ago that if you just stayed on this journey, these would be your problems today, I was like, fuck, dude, I'd sign up for that all day.
Oh man, if someone had told me that, man.
like for real, like, just being a little candid with you guys, like one of the challenges I've had is we live here in Mexico, and I have a whole crew I roll down here with. And I always have to have like cash on hand to pay the crew, because I got a gardener, I got a pool guy, I got a cleaning lady who comes, I got a guy who comes and cleans my car. I have a nanny that comes a couple times a week. I got a babysitter so we can do a date night, and like there's just and I got a repair guy on standby. and stuff like that. And like, of course, when you're in a foreign country, like the bank machines don't let you take out a lot of money in one. So I have to like plan sometimes like 2-3 trips just to be able to like pay the crew for a month.
Yeah.
And there's always like, little pressures and things like that. But I'm like, man, if you had told me like you get to live in a big old fucking palace and you got a whole crew of people doing all your bidding, like that's your biggest problem in life, quit your fucking whining, boy. Right. So, like, so that's the flip side of it is.
Can I pause you there for a second, Frankie? Because you mentioned something that I admire in how you've been able to be successful all these years in your agency is you've replicated the same thing in your personal life as well. You've gone through those same phases. You have the infrastructure in place, you have your process, your systems, and you have the proper support team in place as well. Yeah. So the fact that you've done that professionally and personally, you exemplify what being a time-rich CEO is. And you have the blueprint, Frankie. Woo!
Love it, girl. You can butter me up anytime. So I want to be super mindful of your time here. Let's talk. People want to learn more about you.
Yeah.
Find your shit, buy your shit, investigate you. Like, what's the next move for our folks?
Yeah. So if y'all are on Facebook, simply just send me a message, friend requests, all that good stuff. I'm primarily on Facebook. For everyone else, just go to the timerichceo.com and you will find everything there is to know about me. Next steps, what we offer.
Just want to add, for those of you guys who are watching the replay of this in my group, I'll make sure to put links for you guys below this video so that you guys can find those.
Awesome. But yes. Everything is there. So just connect with us and we'll tell you what your next step is, whether that's, locking arms or referring you to someone in our network or just having a conversation and giving insight or resources.
Yeah, use them. I'll tell you, by the way, most of you guys bring me like what you think are marketing problems that are really operations problems in disguise. And the reason why they're operations problems is because entrepreneurs were generally like really bad at consistency. And the way you fix consistency is not by trying to make yourself something you're not. It's by the process you described of like figuring out the structure, building processes, and then making people responsible. So the reason why I'm able to make like so many videos is because I don't edit my videos. I don't post them. I don't like, there's processes and teams that run in the background. If I had to do any of those things more than 3 times, that shit would never happen. And so, that's my way of saying, like, most of you guys think you have other problems, but they're actually operations problems in disguise. And that, somebody like Allante can help you simplify that dramatically. So appreciate you for doing this, and much love for you and our folks.
Hey guys, if you like this video, you'll also like my book on Amazon called Beyond the Agency Box, which you can also find by my name, Frankie Finn, and it's got a lot of awesome reviews, and it really just goes deeper on a lot of things we're talking about, everything you need to grow and start a lifestyle agency, from the stages you'll go through to getting clients, to how to create winning offers, to high value deliverables, to wowing clients, to building teams, to building systems, and building a boring factory that's like a 7-figure money machine for you. So if you're interested, I put links for you in the video description, as well as it'll be in the pinned top comment below, and make sure to check those out.